This conference will now be recorded.
Hello.
Good morning, Punara. Hello.
Yeah, hi Jyoti.
Hello. I have tried doing implicit objects yesterday, but I didn't get the application, the fifth one.
You have tried?
I've tried implicit objects yesterday. I mean, I read it, it's kind of easy only. I just
Ah,
didn't get the application working. I mean, I was typing the things, only application didn't work for me. Application was always saying null. I don't know why it is not able to take the from me. It was not taking the values.
okay. So have you written this action welcome.jsp
Yeah,
and the page name should be exactly welcome.jsp.
yeah.
So then obviously it will go. And where did you keep these files?
Everything in the web. I mean, outside web INF, but in the web content. I made a folder and I put everything in that.
Okay. Can you share me a screen?
Um, can you make me the presenter?
Okay. You kept them in the JSP folder, right?
Yeah, I kept the
Separate.
JSP folder. Yeah, yeah, this one. It just shows null for me. See, it says null. Rest everything was working.
Open your this file, the file.
I've called action over here, and then when I call this, it goes to here.
You have written in the same page. Okay. What is this phi dot okay JSON? It's a text. You have written application dot get init parameter.
Mm-hmm. In the
Application
config object, also, if I'm writing get init parameter, it didn't take, but servlet name it took. I don't know.
see,
It did
we are
just.
configuring application level. You need to configure in the context param. You know context param. In the web.xml, you have to configure them.
Oh, then web.xml will always be a problem for me.
Yeah. Actually, web.xml uh, application means web.xml level. XML from the XML file, if you are reading anything, that is called your context params.
Okay.
Application is something, if you are reading from there, then it will be.
I mean, I thought it was because I put it in that. I tried separately also. Only maybe it was related to XML. That is something is wrong with it. Yeah, and then well, I just started the MVC, but I didn't finish it. Oh, yeah. It didn't run for me. Why? Because I had a doubt in the when I'm doing all the servlets, JSPs together, where am I
Hmm.
supposed to keep the servlets and the Java files in the web content or in
No, no.
the.
Let's say the SRC. The
But if
source,
I'm putting in the SRC, you see all the into marks are coming. If I'm putting in the web content, then at least, for the servlets, the error mark is not there. But over here, the error marks are coming if I put it
no, no,
in
no,
the
that is
source.
not because of that. That is because there will be a jar file is missing. Servlet API.jar file. You need to add that servlet API.jar file. Configure your build path to uh, build path with your servlet API.jar file. But it will not show any error. Basically, why open that controller servlet once.
But login bean is already there. Okay. Servlet API
So
jar is the
login bin, right? So login bin, it is showing an error. So login bin, where is that login bin? So you need to import that package.
but it
Okay,
is there in the same package, login
they're in default
control.
package. So keep on login bin once.
Yeah, this is
Keep
login bin. This
no
is
no keep
login bin.
keep that your cursor on that. Or change the login MX bin. No. Open your that login bin once.
This is
Everything.
login bin. This is login bin.java. Oh, one sec.
What happened?
The class name went wrong.
Mm.
I was like doing it. I was not copy pasting. I typed the first letter went wrong. Hmm. Yeah, now login dot success. This over here error always used to come. Now it's not coming. But I don't know why now this is wrong.
What happened? Import. It is asking you the location from where you're importing the package. That is a class actually.
I mean here they have given
Because,
.com Java
okay,
client
where
dot
did you
Java.
keep where did you keep your class? That class.
In the default package, I didn't give the package
Create it
name.
keep it in some package. Keep it in some package.
Should I com is compulsory or it is just the dot
No,
one?
no. What is your package?
Package name is one.
One dot. Okay, the directive it is showing an error. That's it. Control S. Okay,
Yeah.
fine. This is your controller servlet, and you are creating a login bean over here, right? What is this controller servlet and login bean is associated? You are setting the values, set name and set password. From where you are taking? You are taking from form.
From login error,
From
login
where you are taking the values?
index.jsp
From the
from
index.jsp subject,
controller servlet.
it goes to actual controller servlet. But how you're going to map that? You have to configure in the web.xml or open controller servlet. So where is that annotation you have written? If you're not following that one, what do you say? I mean, if you're not going through with the XML file, then you're supposed to give uh, in the file itself. You have to maintain, right? Annotation you have to give. Did
Oh
you give?
yeah, I've read it somewhere, but I don't know how to give that
Hmm.
annotation.
At the web servlet, the option should be at the webs.
Mhm. Where should I write that attribute?
You have to write before your class at
In the
webcon.
control.
One moment, at web config. What generally we don't use that. Web- Automatically it comes actually if you don't give. But anyway, you have to say at web servlet. Sorry, at web servlet, and that mapping thing you have to give
In the index page or in the controller page?
in the controller at web servlet annotation. To web servlet, you have to write it in the starting
Annotation.
before your class starts at web servlet. I have written in the chat room. Just check it out.
And I have to give this as the index page or
What is your servlet controller servlet? What is the mapping you are doing?
I'm
There, the action class, what you are giving, that's the thing you have to give.
I'm taking the input from the index.jsp page, that is the name and password, and depending on the name and password, it will either go to login or it will go to login error or login success page.
Now open your page from you have shown me index.jsp, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is my
Yeah,
index.jsp.
when you submit, that is
From
your
there, it is going to controller servlet.
the controller. It has to go. No, that You have to write over there the same thing what you have given as a URL. The same thing your action is your URL. Action is nothing but your URL. Are you getting me?
Yeah, action is my URL, but from index it will get redirected to. No, it will be an index page only, right? Even if you invoke a Java file from index, because it is just pulling the data from the Java, it is still in the index page, the displaying.
You're redirecting now, Jyoti. You have to, when you click on that, there should be some action happen. It has to go to this class. So in this class, the action should happen actually. So you have given your class name as your action name,
Okay.
and that before you have written before your you have to write before your class that annotation before your class.
Oh yeah, it went through actually. No. What is? I've only given the admin as the password. How about the username?
Now you're checking with the only password. Okay,
Okay. But I'm giving admin.
so in the console, what is the exception? What is the problem it's showing? Check it out. You have written something
Okay.
actually.
I'll go over once again. I've just started this actually.
Okay,
Yeah.
sure, can you make me as presenter? Hello Kishore, can you make me as presenter? Jyoti, you see here. So here, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
So here in the sublet, if you are creating a sublet, so your servlet class before, after the package. For this class, from any form or anywhere the request is coming. To identify that servlet, you are going to use the annotation. But this guy has given as an what do you say, as an uh, class name, but we have to give a different thing. Okay, let's say simple, he has given class name. Okay, here also we are giving simple. So the same thing, from where I'm giving the request, from a form or somewhere I'll be giving a request, right? Inside the form, the action is equal to simple. So when I give that, when I submit a form, directly it will come to this class. Are you getting me? Make
Okay,
sure.
but what is that trying to say? It is trying to say that you are a servlet and you are executing. What exactly is the line doing?
Which one? This
By
one?
yeah, at the red web servlet, what is it exactly doing?
This web servlet. See, you're coming from a form. When you coming from a form, so after clicking a form, what is the next step? Where it has to go?
I mean, I told in the form where to go. I gave the file name.
How do you say where to go? I
Sorry?
have 5 servlets. So to which servlet it has to go?
But I gave no form action equal to, you know, file name
Okay,
like simple.
action equal to you are giving a class name.
Yeah,
Okay? Your action equal to you are giving a class name. But basically it is a servlet. Okay?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
It is a servlet, so it has a process to identify that class. So there I have to map it. Okay, this particular servlet I have to go. That's the reason I have to write this annotation. If you
Okay.
are using web.xml, we would be configuring in the web.xml, but we are not going with the web.xml.
Okay, got it. Yes.
So that's the reason what we are doing is we are mapping over here.
Yeah.
So that's required. That's fine. So now the point is, and one more thing. Okay, JSPs. So JSPs you have written. So you
Mhm.
said you understood the JSPs. So what do you
Yeah.
understand about request response? There are how many implicit objects we have? Nine
There are
implicit ob
around 9 implicit objects.
nine implicit objects we have, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, Jyoti, tell me.
Yeah. Yeah. All these help us in getting these are kind of handling the objects. Like
Yes.
out
Jyoti,
helps us
give me a
to,
minute, one moment, please.
yeah, yeah.
Hello? Sorry,
Hello.
Jyoti. Yeah,
Yeah.
Jyoti, we have nine implicit objects, right?
Mm-hmm.
And why they are called implicit objects, first of all?
Because we can only use them within the JSP application.
Right, that you are right. So we have to use these objects, they're available for every JSP page by default. Suppose if I want to print something in my servlet, I have to manually get that writer object. I have to manually to write request.get writer, and then I have only two objects, request and response, and so config. Apart from that, so that also I need to call on that. There are some methods so that it will return a print writer object and some other objects it will return to me. So that
Mm-hmm.
means they are not directly available. We have to call them. But here, request and response are by default they are available. and the same parameter you have to use, the same keyword. I mean, not the parameter, the same keyword. You say req, if you say, and I'm using that one, means no. For the request HTTP servlet, they have given an implicit object. If I want to get this object of type, I need to use request only and response only. Are you getting me?
Mm-hmm.
They're all implicit objects and they must be fixed keywords. You have to use this one. Servlet config, when I'm writing init, I can say servlet config and con in the shortcut. And after that, I'll be with the con, I can be able to get the object. But here, config is the only one which is directly available to read the configuration of your servlet. They are predefined objects, and by default they made available to every servlet. So that means I need to just call that create the use that keyword and call the methods what are available for me, and each and every object has a specific purpose. Out is a type of JSP writer class. Request is a type of
HTTP servlet.
HTTP servlet request. Response is a type of HTTP servlet response. And the config is a type of servlet config.
Servlet
Application
config.
is a type of servlet context. Session is a type of HTTP session. Page context is that means all these things are some predefined type of classes or interfaces. Are you hearing me, Jyoti?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So now what we can do with this out, I know that if I want to write something to the browser, I need out object.
Mm-hmm.
If I want to read a parameter from a form, I need a request object. If I want to print something or if I want to
Add or
redirect,
manipulate response, then it is we can use response.
yeah,
Yeah, we
if
can.
send it to the second page or second servlet, I can use response dot send redirect. There is a
Yes.
method send redirect.
Yeah.
Now this we have already in the Java servlets also. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so I can use that
Mm-hmm.
send redirect and HTTP or whatever it may. Right, perfect. Request config. Now we have config. Config.
Initialization of parameters.
If you have configured anything in the web.xml, if I have configured anything in the web.xml, that parameters I want to read it. Okay, in that case, I need a config object. If I don't use a servlet, if I don't use web.xml, then from where I have to read? You will be configuring in your servlets or somewhere else as an annotation. Are you getting me?
But for every servlet, we have to do it, or only the first servlet?
Well, in the sense,
Suppose like we have just done that MVC example, right? And that from index page, it is going to controller servlet. But only the controller servlet I've given the annotation. How about the login bean? I didn't give anything in the
that's
login
right.
bean.
That's right. So the point is here, there are two ways. Okay, one is you have to remember this init params. Init param means they are available for only for that JSP file or that for servlet. Init parameters. If I say context parameters, are you getting me? Context means global. Context
Oh,
means
yeah. Yeah, yeah. There are like four: context, session, and then application. Yeah, the scope of each thing. Mm.
context is global. So and the parameters also I have to say context parameter. Context param I have to say. Here I have given init parameter. That means your config can read init parameters which have been configured. See, I have a form and I submitted. And when I click on the submit, it is going to welcome. So basically, if I don't use annotation web.xml, I'll be configuring the okay, directly it will go to the JSP because that's a JSP. Okay, welcome.jsp I have to give directly. Okay, and it goes to welcome.jsp compulsory I have to give. So it will go to the JSP. That's fine. What if I have a servlet? So it has to go to the servlet. So on that particular servlet, I'll maintain that on top of the class, I'll maintain the annotation. That's fine. So other than that, if I don't use annotations, where I have to configure. So inside the web app, as JSP is also servlet, remember that. As JSP is also servlet, what you have to do is you have to write a servlet mapping, okay? And the welcome, whatever you are giving from the form, this welcome should be mapped with the tag called JSP file. It should be actually servlet class if it is a servlet, but we are using JSP file because your request coming from the form and we are not directly taking to the welcome.jsp, we are taking to the web.xml. We are going through web.xml. That means this URL pattern should be mapped with a particular servlet class, but we are not using servlet classes. We are using JSP files. So instead of the servlet class, I have to use a JSP file. And what is the name of your JSP file? This is my URL and this is my actual JSP page, and it goes to that page. And for this JSP page, I'm giving something. What is that? Before my servlet name, after servlet name, and after the JSP file, I'm configuring some parameters. That means they are specific to this JSP only. No, if I have some other JSP, can I use it? No, they're not available. They are available for this JSP only. What if I want to make it available to all the pages? So don't write inside this servlet tag. You have to write outside the servlet and saying that there should be a tag called context param, and param name, param value, context param close, and that should be outside your servlet
Servlet.
tag.
Init param.
So
Yeah.
those values, if you want to read, you should not use config object. You have to use application or page context. Application. There is another object called application. Hope you got me.
Yeah.
Execution is main important, Jyoti. You are trying and try individual applications. You are writing all the
Yes.
things in some
In
way.
one. Yeah.
So make it very simple way and get understand what is what, and then go for it. Your wish. Go for your some project or something. That would be good. So I have a form, clicking on that. Okay, reading application level. Now I am using application. If I am using application, I should configure in the context param. I told you, no, this is what I was trying. This is not related to any JSP page. It's outside the JSP. If I have 5 JSP pages, the 5 JSPs can read this init parameters because they are not init parameters. They are context parameters. Sir, what if I am not using web.xml? Then you have to use web init param. You have to set it like a somewhere in your web.xml or somewhere you will be setting like this. At web init param, name and value description, you have to set it like this. And these values you have to read it.
Okay.
If you're not going with the web.xml. Are you getting me, Jyoti?
Yeah. Yeah.
Web init parameters. So anyway, we don't use these things. Web servlet annotation, web listener annotation, filters. If you have working with filters, all annotations only, then you have to use filter annotation and this type. So XML configuration, actually, they are avoiding in the industry.
Okay.
So in that case, anyway, we don't use much servlets. We use a Spring MVC. That is the next part. So that, but the base, if you have a C language, so C++ is easy. If you have a C language, Java is easy. It's core Java is easy. In the same way, if you know the servlets, so that Spring MVC and any other MVC based applications are very easy. You getting me? So try these applications with annotations.
Yeah.
It is a practice for you.
Yeah.
Servlets, some things. Take a simple applications and try to work on it.
Yeah.
annotation, publish annotations, all these annotations. Annotation. What is annotation basically? Have an idea?
No, you just told that, annotations are used when you don't want to write XML file, but you can explicitly
Yes.
specify.
But what is this annotation does really for me? Can we create our own annotations also? Yes. Yes. So annotation is not about an XML file. Annotation is something which each and every annotation. Why I have to use web servlet only to identify that particular servlet? Why shouldn't I use some other annotation? That means each annotation they have created for a specific reason. That means each annotation has some backend logic. Are you getting me?
Mm-hmm.
Hello,
Yeah.
Jyoti, you're getting me right? So each
Yeah.
and every annotation has a backend logic. So we can develop our own annotations also. It's a part of core Java. It's not part of here. I want to create my own annotation and I would like to give a specific task for that. Yes, why not? You can create your own annotations. What are annotations? Annotations are decorators that are applied onto Java constructs such as classes, methods, or fields. Okay, it can be applied for a method or it can be applied for a class or it can be applied for a field. For that reason, there will be some specific annotations. An annotation is a marker which is going to mark. If I say on top of my class at web servlet annotation, that means it is to identify any page is coming. It can be easily identify. Okay, to is this the controller which it is looking for with that URL, with that URL from the form what you are getting. So like that, we will be having n number of annotations in the servlets also. Or in any advanced technology, even Hibernate also we need to know what is annotation. So that means each and every annotation has a specified logic. Annotations annotates another annotation, constructor annotates the constructor, field annotates a field, local variable annotates a local variable, method annotates a method of a class. So like this do we can apply for anything. Now how our annotations are created. So to create such a field annotation, we declare a new annotation using at interface. Generally, we don't. I have never created, but just for a knowledge, I know that what is annotation and creation. Also, I have been to done, but yes, in most very rarely case, you may be used to create. Very rare. So, but we don't use to create annotations. Only will map. So, like at interface, and this is my JSON field, and now I have some method value, and if I use this value, it's going to give me some default value. So that is it. The core of our declaration public at interface JSON field declares an annotation of type public modifier, allowing our annotation to be used in any package. So I can use it is target. There are some things. What is your target? Element type of it should be field type. I'm telling what it is. It is a class type or it is a field type. Retention policy runtime. So when it has to be applied, runtime. So that's the reason we have some things here. We have this table. So if I am going to apply on the type target, in the target I need to mention where this annotation has to be applied. Suppose I am creating an annotation, that is my annotation is here. JSON field is my annotation. So this JSON field target is what? This JSON field is target is on the fields. Are you getting me? What if
Mm-hmm.
it should be on the method? What if it should be on the method? So my target should change it to element type dot method. What if it should be applied on the class at the time of creation? If your annotation itself you need to tell. So constructor or a method, a module, package, type parameter, type use, class we don't have. What class also will be having annotation for another class. Module means probably It's a new class for the class. Are you getting me,
Yeah.
Jyoti? So I really never created annotations, but still having a knowledge. So if I
Okay.
want to create an annotation, we can create it. For that, we need to use at interfaces. And your target should be a what? Your target is an element or your class or something. Okay, so that
Mm-hmm.
you need to say. Again, this at target means that is at whenever you see that is nothing but it's an annotation again. That means the target has some backend code. Okay, but if you want to create an annotation, you have to use at interface and whatever the annotation name you have to specify. So that means in the Java there are many annotations, and each annotation has a specific purpose, which has a specific purpose. So whenever you're overriding a method, by default in your applications, at override annotation will come. I don't know whether you
Yeah,
have a.
super warnings also.
Huh?
I, whenever I click on when errors are there, it asks us, you wanna just manage it. Then when I click on it, gets at the rate super warnings. Then the yellow line goes off. Those are also
Okay,
annotations.
okay, okay. So just for an all sake, just keep it in mind. Now coming to our objects, hope you got it. What is config and what
Yeah.
is application?
Mm-hmm.
Application means any for the entire project. It's not for this page. In my project, I may
Yeah,
have
yeah.
n JSP pages. For the entire project, I want to access something. Then I have to set it as application level. So context parameters, if I want to read an application, I cannot read with the config object. So that means each and every object has a specific purpose. What if I want to set a session in the JSP? We know that session we have there, that is HTTP session cookie and all. What if I want to set to the session in the uh, JSP pages? Yes, we can set it. I have a form. When I submit this form, as I'm saying welcome.jsp, directly it is coming to the welcome.jsp, no other directions, because directly we are giving URL as complete JSP page name. So
Yeah.
directly it is coming over there, and here I'm reading the username, and I would like to set that username as an attribute. So then I've set that a username as an attribute, and then I would like to, when I click on the second.jsp, it's going to the second.jsp.
Not just a
So
page.
now, yeah, okay. So that is, I would like to maintain the session in between these two pages. So that means they have a connectivity. For that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the attribute. That means they have a connectivity. Session.get attribute of what
Yeah.
I've been setting. So what I have a third JSP. Suppose if I click on third, so the same session I can be able to read it over there also. So that means from here where I've created the session, I'm going to get in the third page also. So wherever I don't want it, I can say session invalidate method.
I
Okay.
just have one doubt. If in the
Hmm.
second dot, yeah, in the welcome.jsp, we have given a hyperlink to second.jsp, right? If I don't give it, if I did not write second.jsp over there, in the second.jsp, I cannot access the session object, right? Whatever the session is referring to.
If you don't set it,
No, I have set it, but I haven't given the HREF over there. I can manually go to second. I can
hyper-influence.
manually execute second.jsp. Then also can I get the session?
Yes, 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 yes. You can get it because they are in the same application. They'll share.
Okay. I thought you should call or not from this. I thought there should be some link through each.
If that is the case, we have 5 or 6 pages. How you will get it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so that's it. Any questions, Jyoti?
No, no. That's it.
Jyoti, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. So we have a page context and application. So then what is the difference between this page context and application? There is some slight difference. Okay.
Yeah, I was talking about this, no? Yeah.
So page
The scope
context,
within a page. Request
page
for
context is
application.
nothing but it has some scopes.
Mm.
Application doesn't have any scopes. Application means for entire project where I have configured. So page request session application. It can go to the page if something you have set it at page level, or you something you have set it at request level, or something you have set it at session level. Page context implicit object. Let's see. I have a form and I have welcome.jsp. I'm able to read the form values by directly request.getParent. Page context.set attribute. I set it my page context.set attribute, whatever the user I'm giving, I'm set it a name and a page context.session scope. Page level I set it a page context level, I set my session scope. Now,
Mm.
whatever I have set it, that second page, I'm able to get it my page context dot get attribute session scope. So page context is basically used for setting the scopes. An object can be used to set or get or remove the attributes from the following scopes.
Mm-hmm.
Either I can set the values, either I can get the values only
Or
on
you
this
can remove.
on the code page request session application. Page means a single page, only that particular page.
Mm-hmm.
So apart from that exception, if I want to handle exception, I have multiple JSP pages. So in that case, what I'll do is I'll be redirecting to one JSP page. I have 5 JSP pages. For the 5 pages, in first one, second one, I don't want to print errors, anything happened. Because I'm going to write some executable code also. So if anything goes wrong, I don't want to print it then and there. I want to redirect to one page, and I would like to print it over there. So to do that, we have error dot. To do that, we have something called exception. So how to do that means how do you do that means I have an index, I have a process, I have error.jsp. I'm giving a n1 n2 as an input values, and my action is n1
Using the
divided
URL.
by. Hello.
Yeah.
So our action is we have to read this values n1 and n2 from the form what we are getting. After reading the values, I'm dividing. If it goes wrong, I don't want to print it then and there. Instead of that, what am I doing is, hey, if anything goes wrong, please redirect to the page error.jsp page.
Yes.
So immediately, if any error comes in my scripted code or any in the code of your JSP page, immediately it is going to the error.jsp page because you have mentioned over there. Please redirect it to the page error page, and you're redirecting. So there it goes, and here you need to mention is error page equal to true. That means it is the error page and it is true. And then what is the exception got raised over there? So that I need to print it. So just by using exception, by using a declaration tag. Make sense, Jyoti?
Mm-hmm.
Mm. So can you do this right?
Yeah, yeah,
Exception.
I did it. Yeah, I did it. It worked.
It worked right. So after that, we have a directive elements. We have a 3 directive elements: page, include, and
Title.
uh, yeah, tag. Page. Page. If I want to import any page, or if I want to some imports, whatever I can do with the page. Page is a directive. With the percentile at whatever you see, that is called directive in the Java or in the JSP. So import content type extends into information, buffering, language. I can set it. Page language equal to what is the language? Page buffer, how much, what is the buffer size? Page is thread safe. So I want to make it thread safe or not. Page session, the scope of the session, I want to set it. So import, let's have one by one. Page import, I want to import date. I want to print my date, but I need to import it. So that's the reason first I need to use the direct to page import, page and import and content type. I'm setting the content type. What is my content type here? Page content type application. MS Word. What is the type? Content type. Extends. If you want to extend any page, but the extend attributes defines the parent class. If it has any parent class, that will be inherited by the generated SLT. So page info, information, some message. I would like to print it in my page. Then I have to use page info. And I want to set it to the buffer size, how much it can load. I'm going to set it to my page. 16 kilobytes it can load, that particular page. We can load in that page 16 kilobytes. We are setting in that. EZL expression language ignored. Any expression language. We'll be seeing what is expression language, which is very important. Expression language and tag libraries, standard tag libraries, JSTL. JSTL and expression language, very important. That I'm going to that I'm going to teach you again. And so just go through the page directory and include. You want to include something at the time of printing your page, or you want to include some additional some text, or else you would like to include some other header file or some other files, HTML file, 3 or 4 files. I want to print it at the time of this is going to run it on my browser. Then I'll be using at include.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
Yeah.
You getting me right, Jyoti? So
Yes,
then we have a tag library. So tag library is very important. We call basically TLD files. TLD. See,
tag library descriptor.
see, this is very important when you are working with the JSTL. JSTL. So what is JSTL? I'll teach you in the next class. So JSTL is very important one that we are going to
Okay.
learn. JSTL
Okay.
and the expression language.
Okay.
JSTL and expression language and custom tags. These three we will be going to see tomorrow, and action elements we are going to see, and we will be winding up probably by tomorrow itself. But make sure you'll be perfect till JSP exceptions by the next class. Whatever
Yeah.
is there, simple example, so that you'll be understand what is what. So JSP
Yeah.
exception, then we can go with the JSTL and expression language. So once
Okay.
it's been done, that's it about JSP. Nothing much about JSP. So, okay. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Jyoti, then we'll continue tomorrow. No? Do you
Sure.
have any questions for me?
Oh no, I'm good.
Any other queries related to
No.
Java? No?
Oh, I was actually wondering one thing. In the string, when I say string A equal to in the quotes I've given something, when I try to compare it, actually, I just forgot. Like you said, if you make it equal to and then do comparison, it will show us by default true because it is seeing how the object is created. Like equal to it is one type of creation and creating a new string with the object is one type of creation, right?
Mm. Yeah.
But when I do equal to, use that for two, I've given two strings, same initialization with the equal to. Then it, even if I've given separate names, it is giving me false. Instead, it should give true because they both are created in the same way using equal to.
Double equals method or equal what the equal symbol?
Symbol, just the plain symbol. I've written string A equal to quotes. In the quotes, I've written apple. String B equals to, I have written maybe say cat or something. When I do when I compare that string A and string B, it is supposed to give me true or false.
Yes, correct on. So here you see string S1 equal to Sachin, string S2 is equal to Sachin, right? So what
Yeah.
it is going to say, S1 equal to S2 means it's true because the content is true because both refer to same object.
But if the content is not same,
The content is not same, it will not say true, it is false 100%.
but those are of same type. They have created in the same type.
There are
When I'm doing equal to operators, it is it won't give us correctly because it is seeing how the object is created. If I say string SA equal to apple and if I say string S2 equal to new string of apple, they won't be equal because the type creation is different.
Apple, right? The same way you're talking.
Yeah, yeah.
True, it is.
Hello.
It's giving true, no?
No, it's coming false because the type is different.
What is type? It's both are string type, no?
But I'm saying if I give new string, then it
Ah,
is
okay,
not
this one
giving.
you're talking. Okay, this one you're talking about new. Okay, new keyword.
Yeah. So
Okay,
what
so
is it
here,
actually doing? It is seeing the object or it is seeing the value? I'm not understanding.
okay, so here, S1, if you say when you have created with the literal, we have
Hmm.
created with the literal, all the objects will be stored in the, uh, there's a pool called a constant pool, string
Yeah.
constant. And but when you create an object, there is a, these are both references. Content is same. Content is same.
Yeah.
Content is same, but the references. One, the reference is pointing to the heap area object, and the S3 will be pointing to the constant non-pool object, because S3 refers to instance created in the non-pool. That means which is not SCP, string constant pool. Still, the content is same. Whenever you say new, new object will be created. But still, your string is final. All the final things will be stored in a pool. They'll be inside
If
a
you,
pool.
yeah. Okay.
So in the pool, the when you say final, they'll be storing in a pool, so that we cannot modify it. But when you say new, you are explicitly saying that new object. That means this object, this will be created. The value will be created in the constant pool, but it will be targeting to the object, targets to the object I'm talking about. The object
So when I,
targets to the,
so what does exactly that equal to symbol is doing for us?
it is going to
Comparing,
compare the objects.
it is going to compare the objects, not the value,
Yes,
right?
not the value,
Suppose if
not
I
the,
do S2 equal to instead of apple, if I give something else.
I'm sorry, here.
Instead of S2, instead of apple, can you give something else the name?
So
S2.
S2,
Just give some other name instead of apple.
I'll give you a name.
Yeah. Now,
Huh.
if we compare S1 and S2, it should give us true because both refer to the same instance,
How come
right?
S1 equal to S2? No, it returns false.
But right now we just discussed saying, it is with the,
I'm saying that Jyoti, the content. When I say content, this is my content.
yeah.
If the content is same, so the references will point. This will not create a new object. S1 and S2 will point to the same object.
Oh shit, yes. Got it,
There is no,
got it.
there is
Okay,
no
yeah.
new object will be created. But here, when you say even the content is same,
Yeah, I got it. I forgot. When it is same, it both points to the same one. Yeah. There I went wrong. Got it.
So same one means it will not create a new object. That's
It'll
why.
not create a new object. Yeah.
But here, what we are saying is we are asking it to create a new object. So in
Yeah.
that case, your content, whatever you have fixed. So S1, S2 got whatever that is fixed. But still, we are modifying our object.
Yeah. Got it.
Object we're talking about hash code. Now let me show you one thing. I'll say Control C. Okay, I cannot the hash code. I think here. Control V. My God. Okay, that I'll show you in the coming session. I'll show you Jyoti. Huh?
Sure. No problem. I got it actually. I forgot about the reference. I was,
Okay.
yeah, I was concentrating on the value. I forgot about the reference concept. Sorry.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other doubts?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
You're fine, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Jyoti. Thank you very much. Have a good day.